Good morning, this is Ms. O'Malley. Today I'm going to show you how to navigate around the Gale research databases. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to start on the BMS student resource page, and I want you to go over to the left hand side of your screen where you see a navigational menu, and I want you to choose Library Media. This will bring you to the Byrd Middle School Library website, which I have created. On the left hand side, again, you will see a column of menu choices. I want you to click on Research Resources. And then in the main panel, in the middle panel, you can either click on Databases or you can scroll down to Databases since they're near the top of the web page. And I want you to click on the link that says, click here for all Gale research databases. So if you notice, there are a lot of different databases from the Gale Research Database list. And these come to us free since I am a licensed librarian in the state of Massachusetts, and Massachusetts school library system provides these for us to use. Since there are so many different databases to choose from, I'd like us to narrow this down a bit. Since we are in middle school, if you look at the top row here, we have an A to Z list, elementary school, middle school, high school. I want you to click on middle school. This has narrowed down our databases a little bit, but as you can see, there's still quite a few to choose from. When in doubt, always click on Gale in Context Middle School. The explanation for Gale in Context Middle School reads academic articles, images, topic selections, and more for middle schoolers. So let's click on that database. In the main header here, you'll see a very obvious search bar. And let's start by conducting a search, and then I will show you some accessibility options. So I want to search today under artificial intelligence, and as soon as I start to type in the word artificial, it gives me a couple of different possibilities. It's trying to think of what it is that I want to search for. So I will go ahead and click on artificial intelligence from the drop-down bar. The first thing you will notice from the results page, there is a brief overview and part of an article here. If you scroll down a little further, you'll see on this page, and it tells you the different types of results that artificial intelligence is giving us. So there are 21 reference articles, 7 biographies, over 2,000 magazine articles, 27 images, over 600 news articles, 12 videos, and 125 audio clips, and then there's some related topics. And then if you scroll down further, it breaks it out a little bit and shows you highlights from each of these categories. What I would like to do is I'm going to choose news articles, and since there's over 100 news articles, I want to narrow down my results. So if you look on the right hand side of your screen, you'll see this area that says filter your results, and I'm going to click on publication date. I can either do a custom date range, or I can click on one of these presets where it says past week, past month, or past year, and I'm going to go ahead and click on past month. When I click on past month, I now have narrowed down those 601 news articles to 10 news articles. From here, what I can do is sort these 10 news articles again. Right now it defaults to relevance, and that means it tries to give me what it thinks that I want when I type in artificial intelligence. But really what I want for today is to find the newest news article. So I'm going to click on this drop down bar, and I'm going to select newest to give me the newest news article. And if you notice, that first result has now changed. The newest news article here says ChatGPT misinformation poses a risk to public health. And that is from March 21st, 2023, which is super recent. Okay, now if you notice when we take a look at these results, you might see some things that are similar to the Encyclopedia Britannica database. In Encyclopedia Britannica database, they gave you reading levels 1, 2, and 3. Gale database does something similar, but instead of writing out the numerals 1, 2, and 3, you'll see something that looks kind of like the side of a dice, and you'll see dots. So if you hover your cursor over it, you'll see content level equals 4. Here on the second one, content level equals 3. You'll see down here, content level 5. All right, so we have everything from 1 through 5 for content level for Gale databases. Here's one that's content level 3. Okay, so 2, 3, and 4 are basically middle school content levels. Content 5 will be more toward high school, and one will be geared more toward elementary school. Let's go ahead and click on this Chat GPT misinformation poses a risk to public health and see what this article says. Now, once we open this up, I want to show you a couple of different accessibility options that you can use. The first one, if you notice when we had it in Encyclopedia Britannica, a lot of our accessibility options were in circle icons over on the right side of the screen. These have their accessibility options in circle icons, but on the left side of the screen. So the first one here, if you see the little speaker icon, if you hover over it, it says listen, and it will play the article for you, and it will highlight as it goes. So we're going to just put on a little bit for you.
ChatGPT misinformation poses a risk to public health. By line, Michelle A. Williams, Harvard Th. Chen School of Public Health. Earlier this year, one of my colleagues...
Okay, so it does read to you. This is helpful. You don't have to do your Google extension, read and write for Google, in order to play it. It's embedded right into the Gale databases. Another thing that I like to use on here is there is a display option. For the display option, you can choose whether you want to keep it into this font. If you have a hard time reading, if you are dyslexic, you can choose an open dyslexic font. And what I like, it weighs down the font so it's the letters don't look like they're floating away on the page. It makes it easier to read. You can also choose if the lines are too close together, which sometimes it feels like they're too close together. You can adjust the line spacing, you can adjust the letter spacing, you can adjust the word spacing. If the white background is a little too much, you can also adjust the colors for the background to make it a little bit easier on your eyes and to make it easier to read. So you can play around with that a little bit until you find how you enjoy reading from the Gale databases. Okay, the next thing we can do is we can also increase and decrease our font. We see a big letter A and a smaller letter A. When we hover over it, it says increase font size and decrease font size. So we can increase it or decrease it so it's easier for us to read. The last one we have here on the left, when we hover our cursor over it, it says translate, much like the Encyclopedia Britannica. If we select the drop-down bar, it has over 80 different languages that we can translate these articles into. If English is not our first language and it's easier for us to read in a different language, go right ahead and select it to translate. It takes a little while for it to translate into language and then to translate back to English, but that's something that you can use. Other things to keep in mind as you're doing research, on the right hand side of the screen here you'll see a section that says explore, and it has related subjects. So if you're doing some research and you want a little bit more information on a similar topic, you can click on any of these links and it'll bring you to more articles. Alright, so let's say that we are using this article, and when we use anything, whether we summarize, paraphrase, or directly quote from it, we always must cite our source so that we give credit to the person who originally wrote this. Now there's two ways to cite your source. The first way you can cite your source is to scroll down to the bottom of the article, and you'll see that this defaults to MLA 9th edition, and all you have to do is hit select, Control-C copy, and then Control-V paste into your paper. Okay. The other way, and you can see you could also translate to APA, Chicago, or Harvard, which you might need for high school, but in middle school we always use MLA citations. The other way to cite your source is if you look all the way up at the top of your screen, we have another toolbar up at the top right, and you'll see one pair of quotation marks, and underneath it is the word cite. If we click on that, a citation box opens up, and again it will default to MLA 9th edition. We can click on select, it'll highlight all that data, and all you need to do is Control-C copy and then Control-V paste, and that's how we would use the information. Okay, so I just want to show you a couple of other databases here. We are going to close out of this Gale Middle School database, and I want to show you some of the other things that we can do here. Let's go ahead and click on the database under middle school that says World History. And let's say that we are in social studies class and we need to do a research project about daily life in ancient Rome. Instead of typing this into our search bar up here, what we can do is we can scroll down where we see topics of interest and we can browse topics, okay? So if it's daily life in ancient Rome, we have this box here that says countries, cultures, and civilizations. So I believe ancient Rome will fall under there. So I'm going to click on that topic. And then it says browse topics, and these are in alphabetical order. So if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see ancient Rome. If you notice, it's been updated recently. So let's click on ancient Rome. And here we have a brief overview about ancient Rome, but what we really want to do is we want to know about daily life in ancient Rome. So if you look just below the on this page section that tells us all the different types of resources we get, there is another search box that says search within results. And right here I'm going to type in daily life because we want to know about daily life in ancient Rome. And I'm going to hit enter. Okay. Now this has filtered our results down a little bit. We have 43 reference results, and now I can decide this is how I'm going to narrow my topic. If our broad topic is daily life in ancient Rome from our teacher, we can now narrow down our research. So we see here that I can do it maybe on Roman body decorations. If we scroll down, there is something on the social class system and economy in ancient Rome, the geography of Rome, leisure, recreation, and daily life. Okay, a little bit of the history. Again, leisure, recreation, daily life. Okay, something about the religions, mythology. So I can really narrow down my topic by using the search bar within the major search of ancient Rome. Okay. All right, let's get out of world history and let's try another database. Let's go into the Gale Gale in Context Science database. So there's two. There's interactive and Gale in Context. I want you to do the Gale in Context Science database. All right. Let's say we're in science class and our teacher wants us to find a statistic on climate change. I'm going to type in climate change, and if you notice, it's trying to populate global warming and climate change. I'm going to select that one. And if we scroll down to on this page, now we have a couple of more results here that we didn't see when we were doing artificial intelligence. So we have academic journals, we have experiments, simulations, websites. I want to click on statistics since our teacher wants us to get us a statistic. Okay. So part of these, we have snow cover and sea ice extent from 1979 to 2021. Glacial mass balance, greenhouse effect, climate change controversies. Let's see, if we click on this one, we have a bar graph that we could use for a statistic. All right. If we click, let's see, let's go back to our results a little bit. If we click on greenhouse effect, we will get a nice infographic. So the statistics, you'll see different kinds of information. Sometimes you get bar graphs, pie charts, infographics, you get a variety of things. And then if we want to use one of these, just go up to cite and we can cite our information. Okay. All right. Let's show you a couple of other different types of databases as well since we're here. So let's go back to our results list. There are actually two databases that are really good under the high school level. So if we go to the high school level, the ones, actually there's three I want to show you. Health and wellness is great if you're doing any research in your health class. There's one right below it, opposing viewpoints. Opposing viewpoints is going to come in handy for 8th grade public speaking class when you are doing a debate topic. Another one that I like is global issues. Global issues gives you different perspectives on things that are happening in the world as well. Okay? So those just a few things I want to show you. And then let's go back to, instead of middle school, let's click on elementary schools just so you can see how it's arranged differently. And click on Gale in Context, Elementary. Sometimes it's great to use the elementary, especially if you're in a class and you just want something defined a little bit better. So if you notice, this is geared toward a younger set of students. There's bigger icons, more colorful. let's say that I'm studying the digestive system in science class, and I just want to know what each part of the digestive system does. And my textbook is not doing a great job of explaining it to me. So I'm going to click on digestive system. Here I get a little bit of an article, get some quick facts. Again, you get some results here. All right. I want to keep reading the article and see if that helps me with the different parts of the digestive system. So we have a little picture here, main ideas, and here we go. Here we have a definition of what each part of the digestive system does, from the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine. So this might help me when I'm trying to understand a more complex topic. All right. Okay. So today what you're going to be doing is you're going to be going from database to database, and you are going to be answering different questions. So I'm going to go back to the middle school here. If you open up on your Google Classroom, I will do the first question with you. The first question says, actually, I'll read the directions first. Provide an answer and citation for each question listed below. The research assignment is worth 20 points. Please proofread your work before submitting the assignment. And I give you a research strategy. It says highlight the key words in each question that you need to answer. And read these very carefully because I lead you through what level. So the level is going to be this top over here. And then which database, which is going to be in the middle. So under the first question, it says under middle school. So I'm going to click on middle school. And then open the biography database. So that's this one over here. And answer the following questions. The first question says, in what year did Malala Yousafzai win the Nobel Peace Prize for her activism for the rights of girls to be educated? So I'm going to start to type in my keyword of Malala. And as I type in Malala, her name pops up. So I'm going to click on her name. All right. Now we have a little bit of an overview here. But if you notice, we can't cite it. It's because we're not into the main article. We have to click on read more in order to get that citation. So some hints. If you are trying to answer a question about a person and what happened in their life, you want to choose a biography. I believe this top one over here is an overview, is a biography. You can also click on biographies down here. Since it has quite a bit of information here, I'm going to try this article and see if it works for me. And I'm going to click on read more. Okay. So if I want to know the year that Malala won the Nobel Peace Prize, use your shortcut tools. Do Control F to open up the find box. And if I want to find what year she won the Nobel Peace Prize, I'm just going to start to type in the word Nobel. That will start to highlight every time the word Nobel appears in the article. Sometimes you might have to think of other words that mean the same thing. So let's go down to this first one and get to the beginning of the sentence. Here is our first instance of Nobel. The beginning of the sentence says, in 2014, she won the Nobel Peace Prize for her activism, becoming the youngest person ever to receive the award. So that answers my first question, in what year did Malala win the Nobel Peace Prize for her activism for the rights of young girls to be educated? And that is 2014. The next question says, where was Malala born? So if you noticed at the top of the article, we have a nice little blue box. This is about this person, and it tells me exactly where she was born. It gives me her birth date, and then that she was born in Mingora, Pakistan. The other thing that I could do was go back up to my Control F box and then type in born, okay? But I like using this blue box up here. All right, the next thing we do, that answered both of our questions. Now we need to cite our source. I'm going to click on the cite icon, and here's our citation. We click on the select button, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. All right. Then if you notice for our second question, it says under the middle school tab. So we are going to go back. You're going to have to keep your Gale Pages tab open. All right, so don't close out of that. So we're under the middle school section again, but this time we're going under science. So we're not in biography, we're under science to answer the second question. All right, if you have any questions, let me know, and have fun navigating around the Gale databases.